Hey guys, I have a really quick message for you. I'm going to try to make this just a couple minutes long, so bear with me. I have read Revelation probably a dozen times or so in the last year, and every time that I read it, it becomes even more and more relevant. So, I'm sure you all have been watching what's going on in the news with Israel and Palestine and pretty much the wars and rumors of wars that have been happening. And we need to make sure that we are in our word, and that's where we're getting our news, and that's our source before we look at what's happening around us, because only God knows what's happening and what's going to happen. But I thought it was really interesting as I read Revelation at the beginning of the pandemic last year, and the part where the seals, where Jesus opens the seals, has always really stood out to me. I guess because I couldn't quite put my finger on it at the very first seal if it was relevant to the times or not. And obviously, it's up for debate. It could go either way, but I think that we really need to watch it, and we really need to be in our word, and we need to be aware of what's happening so that we don't get led astray. So, I'm going to read. I'm in Revelation 6, 1. It says, I watched as the Lamb opened the first of the seven seals. Then I heard one of the four living creatures say in a voice like thunder, Come. I looked, and there before me was a white horse. Its rider held a bow, and he was given a crown, and he rode out as a conqueror bent on conquest. So I guess I guess I have almost put Trump in that position as the rider on a white horse. And before I get attacked for that, I'm not putting him up on any kind of pedestal. I'm saying that he certainly did that during his administration. He certainly went out and he conquered places that other administrations couldn't or refused to. Even North Korea is a great example. He had peace with North Korea, and with China, a lot of people really respected him. I was stuck on that spot on the first seal for a long time because, like I said, there's no context with this until you're in it, in the moment. And then that's when things start clicking in prophecy, is when you're able to look how things are happening in relevance to one another. So that's the first seal. It says, I'm in verse 3. When the Lamb opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature say, Come. Then another horse came out, a fiery red one. Its rider was given power to take peace from the earth and to make men slay each other. To him was given a large sword. So I think that it's really interesting that right after the horse that conquers, there's another horse that takes the peace. And it's, again, this is debatable. This is all what could be my interpretation of the times that we're living in right now, as God has showed me one-on-one in his word. I'm not really looking to debate anyone on whether this is true. I mean, I would love to hear if you have anything to add to it, or anything that maybe I'm missing. I'd love to hear your opinion. But it's interesting that the white horse went out to conquer, and then now almost immediately after, it's the very next seal, it says that peace is taken from the earth, and to make men slay each other. To him was given a large sword. Well, it's interesting because America kind of sets the tone for the entire world on what they're doing. I mean, you can see everything with the pandemic and everything that's happening in the world. It has taken over the entire world, except America. That's where it's meeting resistance. So let me see. This is the one that I think has been the most recent. This is verse 5. When the Lamb opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, Come. I looked, and there before me was a black horse. Its rider was holding a pair of scales in his hand. Then I heard what sounded like a voice among the four living creatures saying, A quart of wheat for a day's wages, and 3 quarts of barley for a day's wages, and do not damage the oil and the wine. So, if we are thinking about that in terms of now, in terms of present, we can think about the gas prices. And it's not just gas. I foresee what's going to happen is it's going to end up hurting our food supply also. All these prices are going to start rising, and it's no accident. I'm not really going to go into the fourth seal because I didn't want to go that far today. I am going to do some more videos because I've been studying Revelation a lot, and I've been, writing some stuff out, but I want this to be really short. So I just wanted to bring it up today because it's, like I said, it's really important for us to pay attention to what's happening, and to not only look at what's happening in current events, but to take it to Christ and to let God tell you what's happening in your own heart through His Spirit, because His Spirit is truth. He's going to tell us, and He's going to show us things that we don't know that's happening in the world. But I don't know. It's still, at this point, it's like I don't know if this is something that we can come back from. And I'm saying that because there's a lot of stuff, obviously, politically, that's happening here in America that, our current president right now, there's a lot of stuff that's happening as far as the audits in the other states. It seems like there's a resistance, like there's another side that is fighting for good. However, just don't know if that's going to come through or not. If it doesn't, then that's great. I mean, I have no problem either way. I think that we need to be prepared, and we need to be trying to warn our brothers and sisters in Christ of what's happening and what's to come. And I think it's also important that we have our minds made up beforehand. And this is just my personal experience that I'm going to say, but so I had a natural birth, and I had wanted a natural birth for probably over a decade before I ever had my child. And I always said that I didn't want to have an epidural. I didn't want to have any kind of medication. And everybody always told me, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. You're going to change your mind when the time comes. Blah, blah, blah. Naysayers, whatever. I'm a small girl. They said that it would be impossible, that I wouldn't be able to do it. And the thing is that I'd already made up my mind. I'd already decided that I wasn't going to have any kind of medication. So when the doctor comes in to offer me medicine at 9 centimeters dilated, I tell them no. No, I wasn't going to do it coming in here, and I'm not going to change my mind right now. I don't want it. It's important that you have your mind made up, regardless of what happens, regardless of the pain, regardless of the suffering, regardless of whatever obstacles come against you. You have to have your mind made up ahead of time of how far that you will go for your faith. And if you're living in La La Land and you think that things can't happen here, that the way that they're happening in third world countries, that Christians cannot be persecuted, that they are not going to be ousted, that they are not going to be killed for their beliefs, you are crazy. You have to make up your mind ahead of time. That's the only thing that's going to get you through it, and it's not going to have you deceived. So that was just kind of, a one-off. I've been meaning to record a video for weeks on saying that. So just have your minds made up. If you all haven't, you need to get in your word. You need to read Revelation. You need to read it once a month at least, because it's so relevant. It's so good, and God is capable of showing you so many things in that book. It's so amazing. So I hope that you all are blessed. If you all want to add anything to this video that you would like me to look at, then please let me know. Thanks.